Hey, today we are talking about Strange New Worlds and an episodic promise. The show will be fully episodic, except for with one catch, and we're going to get into that right now. Shane, what's happening with this, my brother?
Yes, good to see you. I will say this: Strange New Worlds is one of those shows that I've been really optimistic about, wanting it to be good, so that Star Trek can kind of pull me into this new thing. And the way they've kind of put this carrot out in front of us is by saying that Star Trek Strange New Worlds would be fully episodic, and that we would get that Freak of the Week thing that really came with TOS and Next Gen, and so that's been pretty exciting. And since we learned that, some other interesting things have happened. We've had TOS characters added to the show that we didn't really know was going to be there. And now in this article today that we're looking at, it says that the Strange New Worlds confirms the show is fully episodic, but with one catch. And this catch actually makes me a little nervous.
Uh-oh.
Does. Essentially what's happening here, and this comes from Akiva Goldsman, who's show running for Strange New Worlds. He says, we are returning fundamentally to episodic storytelling. What is unique about this particular Star Trek show in the current Star Trek universe is that it is fully episodic. Now, when I say fully, I'm slightly exaggerating in the character arcs because they are still serialized. It's not like Jim Kirk will see Edith Keeler die one week and then be fine the next, as it was in the original series. And I thought, okay, I kind of get that. They're going to have character arcs, not a problem. I fully understand that. He continues on to say, our characters will carry with them what they suffer from or what they learned from episode to episode. But the stories are episodic. And that allows us to do something that the original series is quite good at. And that's to give you slightly different tones to each episode. And so also what he goes on to say here is that the show is actually being considered as an ensemble cast. And that gave me a pause for a second, because ensemble cast is what Star Trek is trying to do right now with everything. They want it to be very ensemble. They want each character to play a very strong portion of the in the show, as you've seen in Discovery and Picard. But Anson Mount is really driving this show, and and I think how well he did on Discovery, along with Number One and in the people who do like Ethan Peck as Spock, they kind of as a team did their thing, and Anson Mount was the big draw. What they're saying here, what Goldsman is saying, is that yes, these are going to be self-contained shows, but rather than carrying each character's story through each episode, the spotlight will fall on different characters in different episodes. So this can be a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
It can be good if you have, let's say you're a fan of Worf, and we're going to have a Worf-centric episode where the story is kind of following Worf, but we still get the other side story where the Enterprise is going through whatever crazy thing it's trying to solve. So you're kind of getting two stories in one episode. You're still getting Picard, you're still getting Riker, but you're getting a heavier dose of Worf, right?
Right.
Now, if they do that, that's okay. But if they do this thing that they wanted to do, like they did with Discovery, where Michael Burnham became the focus and she wasn't the captain, and we're going to follow around this character. Now, if they do that with each episode and we don't see very much Anson Mount or Number One, and we're back instead with spending almost the entire episode with Nurse Chapel or maybe Uhura or the new Khan character or whoever, right? And the episode is like 99% about that, and then we don't get much of everything else. That would be a concern for me.
And what you're saying is they can focus too much on the non-core characters,
right?
And even though it's technically episodic, it'll really fall outside the normal, Trek style. Because Trek can be about other characters, sure.
Yeah.
But you got to follow, like the bridge crew is usually who they follow, right?
Yeah, the bridge crew is key, and the captain's role in what's happening each day or each episode is critical. We need to know that the ship is being run by Anson Mount, by Kirk, by Picard, by Janeway. We need to know that they're in control of what's happening during that episode, and then we get spices, we get flavors from the other characters, but in the end we know the captain's in charge,
Right.
and that's the draw, I think, too.
Yeah, he's the protein. He's the main dish.
He's the protein, right? Yeah, and we want those other characters. In fact, it can be great adding a lot. I mean, think about some of the great data central shows, or or Worf, which I don't like the Worf ones as much, but where you go on a side trek with Riker or Deanna, those are entertaining, and it's kind of what builds Trek together.
What about when Beverly Crusher made out with a ghost?
No.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I enjoy Beverly Crusher. I did not like that episode at all.
I never understood why that was.
Where are you going to go?
Made no sense though. Like, it made no sense, that whole episode. And the ship in the bottle episode was beyond. It didn't work for me either.
Which one?
The other one that she was really popular in. I'm like, it's called Ship in a Bottle, I think.
Oh, it's the one where she was like, she was the one stuck and everybody else was trying to get her out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Wesley Crusher brought Holmes, or did some experiment or something, got his mom stuck in the. Yeah, that was I actually kind of like that episode.
I liked the episode because of the way it ended, but for the first like 30 minutes, I was like, oh God.
Wesley, Captain, people keep disappearing.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not losing my mind. I really like those episodes of Trek where there's some sort of weird, thing that you don't understand is happening, and then you get like this aha moment, kind of towards the end. That's the Trek I love the most.
Unless it's sex with a ghost.
I don't like that.
There's no aha moment that explains that properly. So
you can give me as many holodeck trips as you want. I love that. But for whatever reason, when she actually went down to Earth to like where she's from or whatever. What's that?
Was it Earth?
I believe so. Yeah. I think she went down to where she was, like they came back and she went down to, it was like staying at her ancestors' place. And, yeah. And it was like, so like out of the realm of what we normally would experience.
It was like the ghost of like her grandmother's like baby daddy or something like that.
It felt like a weird Scooby-Doo episode.
Scooby-Doo.
It was all about Daphne.
Yeah, I was like, yo, where are the Winchester brothers at? We need them in this episode.
It was weird.
Jensen Ackles just barges through the front door with a shotgun with rock salt and some wrought iron. It's like, I got you. Get behind me.
Well, Next Gen does, they deserve a Spock's brain episode. Okay. So that's okay.
Yeah. There was as much as we look favorably on the older Trek like TNG, TOS, Voyager, whatever, there are plenty of episodes that are not good.
Yeah.
Like that episode, don't forget, we talked about a little bit on the Salty Nerd podcast, but dude, the episode with the Traveler, what was that about?
Oh, with
that creepy looking Traveler guy that was really into Wesley, and he wanted to take Wesley on a trip somewhere.
It wasn't a bad episode. It was just weird, but it wasn't bad.
Go with me, we'll explore the stars.
Well, Wesley was special.
Wesley's like, can I go with him, mother? If that was my kid, I'd be like, no, what the?
I know,
You're
right?
Going with a random space stranger that just showed up, wants to take you on a trip to the.
Well, Wesley was treated like one of the adults. I mean, he did a lot of weird stuff.
Weird though. It was so weird. Someone never taught Wesley to not take dilithium crystals from strangers. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. So, I guess we just need to wait and see what's going to happen. I mean, so like I'm not saying that we need to jump ship at this point. I'm just saying we don't really know what's coming. Now, I know that the actors are stoked about the season coming up. Yeah. So Anson Mount is stoked, and that makes me feel a little more confident because I want to see him a lot in this series. So maybe it will be more TNG like. Hopefully that's what we're looking to, but it does make me a little nervous.
Oh, you know what? don't forget the worst, quote unquote, it's subjective, of course, but generally speaking, what most people would determine is the worst episode of Voyager is when they devolved into salamanders.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think that was the most scientifically accurate version of Voyager, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it's a terrible episode, but yeah, okay.
It's a terrible episode.
It was a terrible episode.
How about this? How about let's say it was scientifically accurate, and I'm right, and it was actually very accurate when it comes to like evolution and
Sure.
secular
Cool.
nation of nature of the universe. Still,
Wow.
after you and your helmsman make a litter of babies on another planet as salamanders, and you get put back to normal. How do you even work after that? What I've been talking about that, like, hey, yo, Paris.
You don't come back from that, bro.
No.
You just don't.
How do you have a friendship with that? Paris, remember that one time you drugged me, took me to another planet as a salamander, and forced me to have your children? You recall that? Yeah, you're demoted. Get out of here. Oh,
yeah,
man.
No. I can't imagine.
Great television.
Yeah, so everybody's going to have some bad television. And listen, Star Trek Strange New Worlds will probably have a couple of bomb episodes, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be good overall. So I'm hopeful. And listen, I'm going to be hopeful until I'm proven wrong. And we're going to give you the honest take. Listen, when it comes out, we're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to pull no punches. If it's not good, we're going to let you know here.
That's
so
true.
Make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe and
remember, stick around. We're gonna talk about what you just said in the chat there, so don't leave. But we do have to leave. And Shane, you were right in the button there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Members, stick around. We will be right back.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the Popcast family. Use the link in the description below or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier, and we'll see you at the next show.
I should have some music there. Yeah.